we got a couple things that we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about that triangle inequality piece. Okay, so the triangle inequality, here's what we know about it. Triangle inequality theorem says that if you take the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle, it is greater than the length of the third side. Okay, so if we take two sides of a triangle, add them up, and it's greater than the length of the third side, then the triangle exists. The thing is, you have to check all possibilities. So my triangle that's right here, triangle ABC, and then I've called this side A, little b, little c. This triangle only exists as long as, if I take A plus B, it has to be bigger than C. But I got to check all combinations as well. So I also got to check A plus C, it has to be bigger than B. And then B plus C has to be bigger than whatever the distance of A is. So over here, that's what I've got. All my combinations, you have to check them all out. They all have to be true for this triangle to exist. If they're not all true, if any one of these is false, it just takes one. If any one of these is false, this triangle does not exist. So here's our triangle inequality theorem in action. So here are three different examples. I'm going to talk about these here in a second, about why they do not exist and why the last one does exist. So here are my sides of my triangle, 1, 1, and 3. The sides of this triangle are 1, 1, and 2. And then the sides of this triangle are 3, 4, and 5. Okay. If I do just my straight triangle inequality theorem and I check this, if I take 1 plus 1, is that bigger than 3? No, that's false, because 1 plus 1 gives me 2, and 2 is definitely not bigger than 3. That's why that's false. But if I check these other ones real quick, 1 plus 3, well, that's 4. That's definitely bigger than 1. 3 plus 1, that's 4. That's definitely bigger than 1. But because this guy's false, this triangle doesn't exist. Here's the reason why. If you think about these as like kind of spaghetti noodles, say I had a spaghetti noodle that's 3 inches, and then I've got two spaghetti noodles that are each 1 inch. If I try and take and close those up to make a triangle, these things are going to miss each other. As this thing starts to get closer and closer and closer, that 1 inch spaghetti noodle is only going to come to there. That other 1 inch spaghetti noodle is only going to come to there. See, there's a gap in there. These two sides are not going to hit each other. That's why this triangle doesn't exist. In other words, what we're trying to say up here is if you add the two sides, they have to make up that distance that is bigger than that third side so that they can connect together. Okay, so here they don't connect together. If you look at this example, well, obviously if you look at the triangle inequality theorem, if I take 1 plus 1, that's 2. 2 is not bigger than 2. Okay, if I take 1 plus 2, that's 3. That's definitely bigger than 1. That's why that's true. If I take 2 plus 1, that's 3. That's definitely bigger than 1. That's true. But again, because this guy is false, that's why this triangle doesn't exist. And again, thinking about spaghetti noodles, if I got a spaghetti noodle that's 2 inches long, and then one that is 1 inch and 1 inch, again, when these things meet up, they're going to meet up on the 2 inch spaghetti noodle, because 1 inch plus 1 inch makes 2 inches. So again, this doesn't form a triangle, it just forms a segment. So, whereas in the example before, they never met up, this one, when they eventually do meet up, they're just a straight line, a segment. So that's not a triangle. Triangle has 3 sides. So that's why this last example works. If I take 3 plus 4, that's 7. 7 is definitely bigger than 5. If I take 4 plus 5, that's 9. That's definitely bigger than 3. If I take 5 plus 3, that's 8. That's definitely bigger than 4. That means that when I look at this, if I got a 5 inch spaghetti noodle and a 3 inch and a 4 inch spaghetti noodle, those are going to meet up before they get down here to the 5, like what happened on this guy, because they're long enough to cover that distance, and they eventually do meet. That's what this triangle inequality theorem is talking about. It wants to make sure that your sides are long enough that they're actually going to meet up and form 3 sides instead of just being a straight line or not meeting at all.